who is an enterprise agile coach. He's a mentor. He's a keynote speaker in many sessions. He has delivered multiple sessions like this. So I believe this is definitely a value add to the people who are on this call and who are trying to listen to him. Please make use of this best opportunity. Uh, Balaji, over to you.
Yeah, sure. Namaste, all. Happy to meet you all as part of this particular session. Uh, Thanks to you for actually setting the context. So let me go ahead and then no, just to share my screen. Let me know once you see the PPT, please. I'll just put it in a slideshow.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so as the topic says, right, in this particular session, I'm actually going to share my experiential insights on probably how do you connect your agile to the financial outcomes, okay, financial metrics or financial outcomes. So before I get into the crux of the topic, right, I actually like to spend a good amount of time to set the context, okay. So why are we discussing this particular topic in the first place? The only reason is if you wanted to become a part of the leadership team, if you wanted to become the part of the board of directors, and if you wanted to climb up in your career ladder, agile capability is of a paramount importance. But the point to be kept in mind is only with the agile capability you may not be have a accelerator in your career trajectory, right? You also need to speak the language of the boardroom, right? So from that perspective, based on my experience, what I thought is if you wanted to become a part of the leadership team and if you wanted to have a C-suite level conversations on the agile transformation, uh, digital transformation, a kind of a strategic transformation, then your capabilities need to be at the intersection of all these three circles. Okay, agility, as you know, any kind of a transformation, any kind of an organization change management, those concepts come over there. When I talk about when I talk about engineering, I'm not actually referring only to the extreme programming practices. I'm actually referring to the nature of the projects and the technology, currently which is in the wave. Okay, then definitely you need to understand the basic nitty-gritties, the terms and the nomenclatures of a PNL, your profit and loss. So this is the intent of this particular session with me. So I just gave this particular pictorial representation. I'm just going to the third slide. Here I'm just trying to put my thoughts like in terms of agile execution with something called OKR, and technical delivery with software craftsmanship, and also operational excellence. Okay, now see, respecting no respecting your years of experience, I'm not going to go through the slide in a verbatim manner word by word. The slide is only for a reference, so you can focus on the conversation or my way of explaining the concepts. Okay, so based upon my experience, right, in the recent past I was actually doing something called as a OKR driven agile transformation. Means what? First of all, we create a goal. What is the goal? If I wanted to talk about at a team level, right, a simple goal should be reduce the technical debt by 10 percentage. Okay, improve the predictability by 15 percentage. This is a team level goal. Now you take the concept and slowly try to elevate it to the portfolio level and the boardroom conversation. Typically in the boardroom conversation, can you increase the PAT by 25 percentage quarter on quarter? Okay, what is PAT? PAT is called a profit after tax, right? When you do your financial, you have some terms like EBIT, EBITDA, something called PAT, something called PBT, profit before tax, something called revenue, something called profit margin, operating margin. These terms, at least agile coaches should know the meaning. Okay. Now, why are we saying this, right? Now, 10 days back, when I was actually doing a trial run of this particular PPT with Sharath and Satish, we were actually having a conversation saying that uh, basically agile coaches have a concern that boardroom guys are not understanding the language of the coaches. Now if you think vice versa, boardroom guys or your C-suite leaders have a concern on the agile coaches, saying that guys, agile coaches only talk about Jira, story point, velocity, cycle time, lead time. They are not able to speak the language of the board. From that perspective, what I have what I have done in these slides is I'm just trying to connect you, I'm just trying to help you to connect the dots. Okay, so with this context being said, I'm just going to the next slide. Okay, so just to be on the same page, right? In my LinkedIn article, I have already written a detailed LinkedIn article on this particular concept. Now I'm going to explain the concept using the PPT. So the funda is, gone are the days where we only talk about agile outcomes. Say for example, right, somewhere in 2015-16, that trend was talking on velocity, lead time, cycle time, throughput, all those things. Then slowly in 2021-22, that trend was talking about business outcomes like your CSAT, your NPS, right? Your net promoter score, your product brand index, improving the go to market strategy, those kind of things. Now, coming back to the PPT, now the current trend is, can I take the agile outcome to a business outcome, and can I still continue the journey to elevate it to financial financial metrics? So what are those metrics we are going to cover and how to do it? Okay, this is something like a prelude to the core slides. Okay, I'll just keep moving in the interest of time. Okay, so going forward, right, probably when you are actually talking about your DevOps or your DevSecOps, instead of just confining only to the DORA metrics or your your end-to-end DevOps lifecycle optimization metrics, the next level of elevation or the next level of positioning would be, okay, because of this compressed cycle time and the increase in the throughput value, how am I going to reduce the capital expenditure, or how am I going to curtail the operational expenditure, right? And how to improve these particular numbers like a CSAT, NPS, because this is what your delivery head, your vice president, and your senior vice president is really interested. Okay, but then why? Because your senior vice president has a KRA or a KPI to improve the the capital, means to decrease the capital expenditure or to improve the profit margin. Basically the CXO guys do not have the KRA or the KPI saying reduce the cycle time or improve the throughput, all those things, right? So my suggestion would be, having been said that we are good in the basic agility, how do you take it to the next level and then try to map it to the financial aspects of the company? Okay, now certain things need to be kept in mind. Okay, so you can just go through the slide parallelly. Okay, I'm not going to explain it word by word. I'll just try to give you the entire narrative here. Okay, now some of the companies, whenever you are trying to formulate a strategy, right, you might have heard of the word agile transformation strategy. So what do you mean by strategy? Strategy is this only. Theoretically they used to tell, right, strategy is something which is going to connect the vision to the execution. So what is the vision? So going forward, you may need to think through on the lines of goal driven agile transformation. It could be an agile transformation, it could be a strategic transformation, it could be a digital transformation, or it could be an organization change management plan, whatever it is. Ultimately, you have a goal in place and you are trying to do something to move from the current state versus the to be state, right? That is the meaning of the word transformation. And you also need to have a sustainability plan to ensure that you are not falling down after transformation, right? So the key point to be noted here is, I'm not sure how many of you in this particular group went to your manager's manager and then asked him, okay, can you tell me what is your goal sheet? Because unless and until you understand the goals of your manager and your manager's manager, you cannot really help them at their level. So most likely getting an internal promotion will be very difficult, because not for the reason that you are not adding value, but you are not adding value in the exact way what they wanted you to resonate. Okay, so from that perspective, I just put some high level things. Okay, which is point number one. The point number two, what I like to say is, most of us may be from the engineering background, right? You may not have that commerce background or kind of a thing. So you may need to spend some time on understanding going forward anything like a DevOps or a DevSecOps. It could be an MLOps. What is the business intent behind it, not just the technical lever? Okay, why am I doing what am I doing, and how it is going to be like a differentiator to my prospect or a lead? Because when the first time an unknown guy comes, he is a prospect or a lead. Only when you win the deal, the prospect will become your client, right? So you may need to think from that perspective. Then if you talk about your agile metrics, all these things, then it will make more relevance. Okay. Okay, can I proceed? Are we good? I'm just making a quick check with the no quick check with the moderator. We are good, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, Balaji. Please.
Okay. Thanks for confirming. Okay, so here, okay, why I was actually showing these kind of slides is these are the building blocks, right? For example, right, when you are responding to an RFP, or when you are trying to create a solution approach document for the problem statement or the problem under consideration, definitely you need to come up with a customized business operating model. You cannot take your safe as it is, you cannot take your frameworks as it is, right? So we actually do a preliminary understanding of the landscape, and then we try to come up with a high level solution approach. All these things are fine, but at a leadership level, they will be always be embarking on, okay, can you do something called as a EBM? Okay, what does it means? EBM stands for evidence based management approach. Anything and everything you are trying to do, can you show me in terms of a numbers? See, when you show things in terms of the numbers, no, you no need to justify. Numbers themselves will justify. But the only problem there is sometimes we need to do the homework and then go. We should not go there and then try to understand what numbers are they interested in. So from that perspective, while I share this particular deck to you people later, you can just go through to know the high level know the flow. Okay, now definitely if I want to slowly if I want to slowly shift the gear now, let's say that you have built your DevOps pipeline, your DevSecOps pipeline. I will share my my pragmatic experience so that it adds more value. So while I was actually responding to one of a large deal, right? So my customer was asking me, this particular project needs to anyway be completed within 15 months across product lines and LOBs, no, the product group. So when I started doing that particular requirement analysis, it seemed to be a simple Angular upgrade project. And also we thought that, okay, let us go with this particular Angular upgrade project. But then unfortunately, once we try to dig a bit deeper, unearth it more, we came to know it is not just an Angular upgrade. It is also a modernization to the cloud. The entire landscape need to be modernized. So given that we had a time constraint and client didn't had a proper requirement document also, so what we did, we tried using a IBM doors, and then we tried doing a reverse engineering. We tried understanding the legacy code. From the legacy code, we started creating a requirements document. Then came the challenge. Okay, guys, this project, going by the numbers, it will take 2 years to complete. But let's say my client wanted it within 12 months. Of course, I can take a MVP, but still, are there any other accelerators, or all are there any other in-house enablers within the company? The moment you use those kind of AI utilities, or some kind of a no some kind of a enabler which can be used in the project of the landscape, which will drastically curtail the time, right? So maybe while you are going for an interview also, the interviewers will be asking you such kind of case studies, right? And whatever challenge you are trying to tell in the interview should resonate with the level or the position that you are applying. Okay, so I'm just giving you an example here, saying that the intent is not to use AI, the intent is not to use MLOps for the sake of know the MLOps. What is the goal? Is it a goal saying that I need to reduce my mean time between failure, or mean time, like whatever be your DORA metrics or whatever be your metrics? Yes, I have reduced it. And then because of this metrics, how does it give a positive ripple effect in my balance sheet? So what I did, you can take this particular slide, just to pause here for few seconds and then just go through this slide, right? So what I have done, no, I have just tried to put some agile outcomes on the left side and then try to do a high level mapping. Okay guys, if you improve on these things, probably this will be the business outcome improvement. Okay, now if I want to speak the language of your like your safe framework, your agile outcomes typically operate at a development value stream level or a product value stream, whereas your business outcomes typically operate at a operational value stream level or at a customer value stream level, because you cannot touch the heartbeat of the customer only with the development value stream. You can touch the heartbeat of the customer only with operational value stream, but your operational value stream cannot be fully implementable, deployable without a solid development of value stream. So both are important, but which one creates more ripple effect? It is the operational value stream, because customer is not really interested in a detailed manner how are you getting things done. Customers are interested in cost savings, repeatable repeatable sustainable solutions, right? So from that perspective, I just want to I just put this grid just some half an hour back for the sake of this particular presentation, how you can map your agile outcomes to the business outcomes. Okay, so you see, you need to take this as a model. Okay, when your context changes slightly, these things will also change. So please take this slice with a pinch of salt. Okay, now here I have given the exact example. Okay, means what? Okay, what are the agile levers which you can think through and how it is associated with the business KPI, and if I improve this particular KPI, what will be the financial impact? For this you need to know the theory part. What is CAGR, compounded annual growth rate? Like this, if you don't know the full form for these things, you may not appreciate this particular metrics. And then, no, by the by, we have some meetings like a QBR, quarterly business review meetings. We have some meetings like a EBR, executive business review meetings. In those meetings, no one talks about velocity, cycle time. Everyone talks about CAGR, EBIT, EBITDA, profit after tax. Those kind of discussions will be happening. See, for example, right, if you wanted to become the head of the agile practice unit, what is needed is how much of revenue you are bringing to the company through your practice. Ultimately, your KRA and KPI will be in some kind of a dollar value per quarter on quarter. There, the question is not at a tactical level, right? So I have just given a simple example here, just to begin with. Okay, I actually deliberately kept the slide very simple so that you can resonate it to a greater degree. Okay, so probably a similar kind of an example, and you can take your inferences from your agile coaching competency framework, right, which actually talks about different sectors, no, your business mastery, your transformation mastery, and also something like your business mastery, your transformation mastery, and also technical mastery, which is going to talk more on the software craftsmanship. So I was trying to take pointers from agile coaching competency, and then I was actually not trying to put this particular thing, this particular slide. Okay, now uh, let me share one more example. um, 3 weeks back, I was actually talking to one of the CDO of an organization. Like, no, that person is a chief delivery officer of an organization, and he was actually trying to recruit a senior most role, and he had already completed taking 54 interviews. Okay, 54 people he had interviewed, and he was actually telling to me, see, Balaji, the problem is I could not find a single person who has all these three blend of capabilities. People who are good in agile, they don't know anything on the financial aspects, and they don't know anything much on the tech stack and cloud migration. People who are good in profit and loss, all this financial acumen, they are not having the knowledge of a digital transformation. So maybe the world is moving towards a place where you need to have a, like, we need to have a conglomeration or a amalgamation of a blended capabilities. One skill is not going to help us going forward. Okay, so that's the intent of the the slides. Mm, okay. Okay, so okay, now let us take a one more minute to focus here. Here I have given a simple case study. Okay, so any kind of a case study, it is always better that you segmentize it, right? What is the business case or the pain point? What is the solution approach you have actually taken? What is the actual solution? And then because of that particular solution, what is the benefits that you have arrived? Okay, so let me give a simple example here. What is the difference between approach to the solution versus a solution? Solution is actual thing which is going to solve the problem. Approach to the solution is what is your thought process behind going further. For example, right, when I was a candidate, when I was a candidate long back, I was actually saying in the interview, okay, I actually went for safe implementation for that particular problem. And then immediately the interviewer said, hey, hold on, Balaji, so what made you to go to safe? That question is a powerful question, right? So I told that guy, we have done something called a strategic refactoring, trying to understand the systemic issues of the the client or the ecosystem. There I found that we are having challenges in a dependency management across the teams. We have challenges in having a robust process of a release management across the team. We are not having a program level visualization dependency management, and we are not having an alignment and transparency at a program level. So I went for safe because safe gives these flavors of capabilities. Then that guy told, okay, Balaji, proceed with your answer. So approach to the solution is also very important, right? So I put this particular second column followed by the solution, then a kind of a quantified benefit. So in your resume too, going forward, if you put something like an outcome driven, that will give more value rather than an no only putting activity driven. But if you're putting outcome driven, at least you need to understand and talk to people who had done it hands on, understand, and then get the capabilities, like, and then you can put it over there. Okay, so this is a simple slide. Okay, this is something I have my own program. So if anyone interested to connect with me for more discussions, feel free to connect with me. Deliberately I made the slides very little just to have more time for our discussions and the conversations. Yeah, over to the moderator, please. I'll take a pause here.
Yes, Balaji.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good presentation actually, Balaji. I have seen like even I myself have noted few points,
Hmm.
mostly on the financial terms which you touched upon, which is very much needed for agile coaches nowadays to understand the financial terms and the product brand index sort of matrices which are needed, right? And also on the current industry trends, what is needed as on date, and evidence-based management. This is very great. And there are agile levers which you touched upon, which transforms to business KPIs and what is the impact on the financial metrics. I believe these are something great. And uh, participants, do you have any questions? Okay, there is a question from Charan. Charan, do you want to unmute yourself? If so, I'll just a second. Give me a second. Yeah, Charan, you can speak. Charan Subramanian.
Yes. Hi, Balaji. Thank you for a very good session, very enriching. I
Welcome.
also follow your LinkedIn very closely.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
I also know that you are a very good expert in the building prediction models.
Yeah.
With that as an experience, with that as a light,
Hmm.
could you share some good examples on predicting the financial metrics based on the current practices and what
Definitely.
parameters we could
See, yeah. So, see, in terms of predicting the financial thing, it all actually depends on the data set, whatever you are available for the last 3 quarters, right? Because you have the last 3 quarters. See, because the cleaner the data set and extensive that particular data set is, it is going to give a reliable data science model for prediction. So in this case, life becomes very easy because internal to the organization, we already have the data set ready for the last 3 quarters, right? So you can take that particular last 3 quarters, and then you can build a simple predictable model which will give some kind of, still some kind of a variability could be there. All that a model can do is to bring down that particular variability. And you can refer to my LinkedIn article. I have written a detailed LinkedIn article. Maybe if you can connect with me connect with me one-on-one, I can share you that particular LinkedIn article. There I have mentioned the exact process, like how you can build a predictive modeling, and we have some mechanisms to check the credibility of the model also, FI score, accuracy and all. So that's a simple model. Building a predictive model for cyclone is only complex. Building a predictive model for, because in the case of a cyclone, there are too many unknown parameters which is not really in our circle of influence also, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, very
that
well.
the,
Yeah, very well quoted. Does it also give room for building a regression kind of an equation and then try to predict, or it will be based on simple
no
stats that
sim
we can build?
no simple equations and the regression equations may not be actually working out in these kind of situations.
Okay.
Even sometimes, like Monty, see, okay, simple example, right? Like in that terms of predicting the COVID-19, even your Monte Carlo simulation fails, because by the time you build a model to predict the vaccine or something,
Yeah, yeah,
the COVID takes a mutation. More the
exactly.
dynamic element in the predictable aspect, then your models may go for a may go for a t-
Okay.
toss. And also we need
Okay.
to see whether to use a supervised learning or unsupervised learning or a
Yeah,
reinforcement learning, depending upon which particular algorithm. And because every algorithm has its own pros and cons and limitations, so we also need to selectively plug and play. Just
right.
see, I'm not okay, I'm just giving a high level answer, okay? I'm not getting
Got
into
it.
the
Yeah,
technicalities of
correct.
XG boost or what particular algorithm. Okay.
Got it. Got it. Thank
Super.
you, Balaji. Thank you very much.
Super. Okay.
There is one message from NG Shekhar. Shekhar, I'm muting you if you can still.
Hi, Balaji.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, I think you covered pretty much, but what typically also happens is typical project management metrics,
Hmm.
typical product development metrics. I mean, typically what are being used in industry. If you can give some mapping, so then it becomes very easy. I mean, it will be more like a quick reference.
Okay. So can you just repeat the question? I am just trying to understand how to put my thoughts.
Typically what actually happens is when you go to, say, for example, if you go to a PMI project
Mm,
manager who's
mm,
not
mm,
doing an agile project, he will have a
mm.
laundry list of schedule variance, effort variance. He will talk about all those
Correct, correct.
metrics.
Okay.
And similarly, when you talk about agile projects, we have something. And then when we talk about product development, we have ABC
Yeah,
metrics.
yeah. Product
Similarly,
development is
support
something
projects,
different.
testing
Mm,
projects, we'll have some basic metrics, I mean, which are
mm,
widely used. So for that, if you give the financial metrics mapping, then
mm.
that will be a good article also on LinkedIn, and also it will be a
Yeah,
quick
yeah.
reference when we
So,
talk.
yeah. So now the game plan to be kept in mind is really in the industry when we are doing our profit calculation or budgeting, generally we do not use the PMI or PMP formulas. What actually happened in my case is we use something, let's say, called as a CPD, corporate pricing deck. So what there happens is, first of all, we will fix the EBITDA percentage, or we fix the EBIT percentage, saying that quarter on quarter I need a EBIT margin of 15.2 percentage at least minimum. And then we do all the reverse calculations. We are not really taking the PMBOK material formulas and then trying to map it in a real world, which is point number one. Now from where does that number comes, 15.2? That comes out of conversation only, because in some of the key accounts, profit alone is not the focus. Having our footprints is the focus. There are some strategic accounts versus a non-strategic accounts. So based upon that nuances and subtle aspects also, profit margin will be fixed, the PAT value will be fixed, profit after tax. Then we do all the reverse the reverse calculation based on the billable rate card and all other costing. So probably that is one thing. Here the point to be kept in mind is, the more I reduce the cycle time, lead time, better will be my go to market strategy. And because of my capabilities in my DevOps pipeline, my capital expenditure will come down due to manual deployment. And typically my uh, EBIT margin and my EBITDA, also have a good balance because of the lower delivery cost. So maybe I can write an article specifically, if you wanted on this. I can create a small table kind of a thing, and then I can give it to you people.
Yeah, I think that
but
it can be something one to many. You can just say, okay, this can be mapped to A, B, C. I mean, whatever they want, they can use. I mean, I know. I think you have done some good amount of groundwork on that, so it becomes easy, quick reference for.
Yeah. So one point here, what I like to share to the audience is, many people say that, hey, Balaji, I'm not getting that particular opportunity to really talk about all these things, or to do about all these things. How will I know? My say is, you started talking about this first, then we will get an opportunity to do these things, because in real time it works in a vice versa manner. Okay, because no one gives us a job saying that if you give me a job, I will prove my capability. No, everyone says, hey boss, first prove your capability, then I will give you the chair. So what is not there in our vocabulary is not going to manifest in the life, right? So the moment we
Understood.
start talking about EBITDA, EBIT margin, profit margin, at least I think we are slightly tilting the needle towards the boardroom conversations. That's my perspective. So no, feel free to connect with me one on one. Probably I can guide you
Sure,
better.
sure. I think we tried doing that, and then somehow I just missed out it.
Sure, sure,
Definitely,
sure.
we'll just connect offline.
So it's not just a guidance from me. I can also learn from you all people as a part of our mutual conversation.
No, definitely. It was a good session.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. But thank you, Balaji.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Shekhar.
Eh,
Thanks for raising.
Balaji, Sharath here.
Yes, sir.
So you have shown a pie diagram, right, where agile engineering and business document needs to be there for the agile coaches
Correct.
to move to the next level, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
I believe you are running a training organization, right? Any programs that you have shaped covering all these areas, or
Probably in my L3 AMP, I have something called Level 3 Agile Mentorship Program, Sharath, wherein I talk more on the OKR, KRAs, and KPIs of an Agile practice head. So probably that program talks about all these things in a single browser. But the point is, we have done multiple videos in the past, right, wherein fragments of this particular knowledge have been shared to the people. uh, right, if I go to my,
probably
yeah, if I go to my YouTube channel, like if you see here also, right, OKR, KRAs, and KPIs of head of the Agile COE, if in these videos I actually talk about all these aspects, just to answer your question and to the larger audience.
that's great. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Okay, I think if you
Great,
are okay.
Balaji. Yeah, I don't see any virtual hands raised. I believe session is clear and it is crisp.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen.
How is your overall experience with the senior leadership so far? Like, you want to
Bit
share any
difficult
good
only.
challenges?
Bit difficult only. Actually, challenge is more in getting their time and getting things done. That is the challenge, not really on the subject per se, and understanding the ecosystem of any particular client, and proving our capability, and to identify the low hanging fruits. That is the challenge. Actual execution may not be a challenge.
Right. I think once you get the time, you need to be very crisp in terms of sharing your
Correct.
thoughts, right? You don't
Yes,
give
yes.
much time.
Correct.
It depends on how you are building your, thought process with them. That is how
Yeah,
they
yeah.
give more time. Otherwise, you will be called out in a minute or so.
Yeah, and actually one more thing is also, in terms of positioning, we need to be really a kind of a bit smart. If we are going and telling, no, trying to tell them something, no, like the presentation should be like solving their problem. Then
Exactly.
that resonate, and finding that shared and know the shared that shared area, and then trying to focus it there. I think once we do it for some 6 months to 1 year, any person can learn those things. It's not a big deal compared to building a prod deployment on a cloud using data science model. This is bit okay.
And
So
even we
using an
don't
easy
know,
to
after training the model, we don't know what is the success criteria. That's a big question. Great, Balaji.
Great,
Thank-
Balaji. Great session. Thank you.
thank you.
Balaji, this is a certification, a certificate of appreciation from our end, from
Sure.
SS Agile Gurus. Sharath.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
thanks a lot for being here and delivering this particular topic of
Sure.
different interest. Thanks a lot for
Sure.
here.
I also like to take a word or two. I also like to thank the the host and the moderators, Sharath and Satish, and also the moderators for giving this platform year after year for all the agile aspirants to come together and to share the experience. Like we say, one of the best way and the fast way to learn things is you try to learn from all people. You observe all people, try to take the best out of the capabilities from all, and then blend it, and of course customize it in tune with your need, rather than sitting and reading lot of things in a silo mode. From that case, like I feel happy. Okay. Okay, thanks for giving this opportunity. Namaste all. Cheers.
Thank you, Balaji.
So